What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down how wide receivers can learn how to run creative routes. So the first route we're going to be talking about is a fade route with an inside release and why that is a possible thing that you guys can do, and then a very creative way to run a whip route or a pivot route, if you will. So I hope this video helps you guys out, but also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to come get some work in with us this offseason, you want to improve your skills, we are traveling out to 5 different locations across the country for 2-day-long quarterback and wide receiver training camp. So we've already been to Houston, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona, Tampa, Florida, Newark, New Jersey, and Atlanta, Georgia. And our next stop on the tour is going to be Columbus, Ohio. Then we're heading to Chicago, Dallas, Nashville, and Los Angeles. So if you guys are local to one of those 5 locations, would like to train with us for 2 whole days, 4 hours on each day in a small group fashion, check out that very first link in the description below, fellas. We'd absolutely love to have you out to one of our off-season training camps. Let's get started with this video. So first route here is from Tyreek Hill, right? So one thing that you have to understand is a lot of times, especially when you get to a higher level of football, releases are about reacting. Even if you have speed like Tyreek Hill, sometimes a DB is going to play something well, and we have to be able to react to it. And a lot of times that happens on fade routes. So it's watch the thing full speed. So he takes an inside release on a fade, which is something that a lot of receiver coaches teach never to do. So let's play at full speed. So he comes off the line of scrimmage, sees that DB widen, and what does he do? He puts the brakes on, takes the inside release, and is able to make this play. So a lot of people ask me about like an MOR, like a must outside release. That is not this situation. An MOR is you're probably not getting the ball when you have to run a must outside release fade. That's what that stands for. So in this situation, we could almost anticipate that the DB is going to play me like this based on the split of the wide receiver and what he's trying to accomplish. So if it's man coverage, right, man on man, and Tyreek Hill has his split cut down, right, he's at the top of the numbers, maybe even a little bit further in, very close. So as a DB, why would a receiver ever cut his split down? To run usually an outside breaking route. He wants to run a 10-yard out. He wants to run a comeback. Maybe he wants to run a corner. So as a DB, if I'm smart, I'm going to be playing the outside. I'm going to be over anxious to protect the outside because that is what I'm expecting based off of his split. So as a wide receiver, I got to be ready to react to that or have a plan initially off the line. So when Tyreek Hill comes out, what he does is he comes off the line, he's closing the distance with the DB, and he sees how that DB's widening, so he puts the brakes on and takes the inside release. Anytime that you force a release, fellas, you are going to get rerouted and forced to the sideline because this DB already pre-snap is lined up a little bit outside shade, I would say. So when he starts to keep the outside, Tyreek Hill could very easily try to rely on his speed, try to just run around him. But that DB, when you force that release like that, he will get hips or hands right onto your hip pocket and force you to that sideline to where the quarterback has no space to make this throw. A fade route does not always have to be a fade. Ultimately, we just need to be able to stay in a straight line. Whether that's I set him up inside and then I take the outside release and work to restack, or whether I set him up outside, take the inside release, and I better work to restack. So a lot of receiver coaches don't teach, oh, you got to always take outside release, always outside release, always outside release. Because when you take an inside release, you're more susceptible to running into a safety, right? So not restacking and just kind of drifting over the middle and having a safety be able to cover you and cover another route that we're trying to set up. So as a receiver, my main goal is to be restacking. If I take an inside release on any kind of route, on any kind of outside breaking route, an out route, a corner route, maybe even a comeback route in some cases, or a fade, my main goal needs to be to restack. But how do I do that, right? So when you come off the line and you make that move, you get the DB to jump. You see how Tyreek has such a great pad level. So many guys, what they'll do is they'll make a cut off the line and they stand up right away. They'll cut and then they pop their chest up, they drift inside, and they're never tight to that restack. When you guys restack, you want to be hip to hip with this DB. You want to give him no space to recover. I want to go right past him because that's what makes it easier to restack. That's what gets him on your back hip. And again, Tyreek Hill does a great job of maintaining a straight line so the quarterback has space to throw him open. A quarterback would much rather have you take an inside release and restack than force an outside release and be right on the sideline, but hey, at least you took the outside release. He needs space to fade you. That is how a fade ball or a go ball, a streak, whatever you call it, is specifically thrown. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by Tyreek Hill setting him up off the line, closing the distance, seeing the outside release is not there, and then taking that inside release, allowing Mahomes to fade him back outside. All right, so now, next route we're going to be talking about is a whip route, okay? So how would you run a whip route in this situation? You got inside leverage about 5 yards off. So this is a very, very creative route because what we want to do, obviously, is we want to get the DB to bite on what? If I'm running a whip. A whip, for example, for those of you that don't know, is where you go up, you run a slant, and then you whip it straight back out to the sideline, and that is your break point. So when you have an inside shade guy like this, usually what people will try to do is they'll try to attack outside shoulder, get him to flip, make him think it's a slant, and then whip it back out. Not necessarily saying that is wrong, and that's what you probably need to do if it was press coverage, right? Because if it's press, he's definitely not giving up that inside release. Because that brings me back to the same point that we talk about in a lot of other videos, that this DB is playing this leverage for a certain reason. He is trying to take away the inside. He's trying to force you outside, but ultimately I have to run to the outside, so I need to threaten him inside to move him to create space. So let's play this thing full speed. So what he does here is he stems him on the whip route. So he stems him up, breaks inside, puts the brakes on, and you see he's still able to maintain space to the sideline to create some separation and score, right? So off the line, you see, we want to think about attacking this DB's midline, especially on the goal line, right? Because we know that on the goal line, what is a DB taught not to do? He's taught not to backpedal. So even if you go at him, he is taught to stay his ground. He is not taught to backpedal, because when he backpedals, that just makes it very easy for us to just sit down, catch a ball, or run a slant right in front of his face. So he's going to sit there. So on the goal line, to run routes like this, to be creative, to get a little more separation, I have to be aware of that. I have to be aware that he's inside shade for a reason. He does not want me to go to the inside, does not want me to cross his face. So if I come off the line and I attack him, he's probably going to keep his leverage or just stay at that spot. And when I do that and I break to the inside, I put the brakes on, and I'm able to slip back outside like this, that's what I need to do. I need to make sure that I'm able to sell the route, threaten him like I'm crossing his face, and then be able to accelerate back out to the sideline. That's what we need to focus on doing when I'm coming off the line of scrimmage. Attack, widen him to the inside, and then break back out. So for this whip route, it is very, very important, ultimately because it's an outside breaking route. So let's square him up, attack the leverage, move him off the platform or hold him there, then I threaten him by crossing his face. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job attacking, great job selling, and then being able to burst off and win on this whip route. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can. We always appreciate the feedback, and it's always great to hear from you guys as usual. And again, fellas, if you'd like to come out to one of our 5 off-season training camps that we have remaining this year, we're coming out to Columbus, Ohio, Chicago, Illinois, Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, and Los Angeles, California. So check out that very first link below if you'd like some more information on that. I'll see you guys next time.